Good morning, and thanks for listening to Community Accent on Refreshing 90.9 FM. This is Tina Gang, your morning host, and today we are connecting you with Jessica Peterson with Lifeline of Ohio and Patty Betts, whose husband Don recently received a kidney transplant. And so Patty was telling us, Jessica, about the fact that, you know, they were on the transplant list for several years before she got connected with Lifeline of Ohio. What is the difference between the transplant list and Lifeline?
Sure. So the transplant list is held by the United Network for Organ Sharing, so it's a national transplant list. When we find a donor, so Lifeline of Ohio, we help to facilitate the donation process. When a donor becomes available, the list is accessed. And then based on geographic location, body weight, size, blood type, a recipient is matched. So that's how
you just help work with the recipient list nationally.
Correct.
But you're a local Ohio organization.
That's right. That's right. So we have to access, we don't hold the transplant recipient or transplant waiting list. We have to access it nationally. So, but Patty, as she said earlier, decided that, you know, she really wanted to make a difference. She wanted to do something while Don was waiting. And by becoming involved with Lifeline of Ohio, she was able to find support with other people who had been in her similar situation, his similar situation. You know, it's not a guaranteed that anyone will get a transplant. Don was a very lucky one. We have 22 people a day that die for lack of an available organ. And right now for Lifeline of Ohio, we do have a couple patients that are waiting for a transplant. There's one gentleman named Mark who's been waiting for over 900 days for a heart. He has
and you do count the days. It's not the months or the years even. You count the days.
No, I think that his day count is 923.
Yeah.
And he's been involved with us almost from the time he was listed. So we're really hoping and praying that he gets a heart soon. He has an LVAD in him, which is a device that pumps the blood for him. So his heart actually doesn't beat.
Yeah.
And he actually doesn't have a pulse. So he's got a funny, quirky sense of humor. So he invites people to take his pulse just so he can see them.
Goodness.
Kind of
They're
freak
like,
out.
okay, where is it? Well, and so what is the benefit then of being part of Lifeline of Ohio if you're already on the transplant list? What is the benefit of connecting with Lifeline?
So the benefit is the support, really. We have lots of volunteer opportunities for people to come out and share their story on radio stations, in the newspaper, and, you know, that's all great. That's wonderful. But truly it's the support of meeting other transplant recipients or other people waiting so that you can talk to somebody because, you know, your sister.
So they have support groups or meetings that you have, or
we have volunteer workshops. We don't have support groups, but we can hook you up with support groups.
Mm-hmm. But
truly our volunteer workshops are kind of like a big support group.
Yeah.
So it's connecting you with people in your own world because your cousin or your sister, they might not be directly affected by the wait. So it's just connecting people.
Yeah, going through it with other people. Patty, share your experience about being part of the volunteer network of Lifeline.
Yeah, and I hadn't been with it but just a year, but I've had so much fun with the honeybee. I've been the honeybee a couple times, and the honeybee is the mascot, and you go to different events like health fairs and different things, and Lifeline of Ohio has a area set up where they're trying to get people to sign up to be an organ donor. And then the honeybee is, you know, there and kind of always attracts the children, and you can get them in. Maybe you can pull in the parents and talk a little bit about organ donation. We also had the Dash for Donation every year, and that's really a neat event. A lot of donor families as well as recipient families attend, and the neatest part, and it was the first one I went to last year, but they have a mascot dash, I think is what they call it, and all the mascots from all the different sports teams and restaurants, and I don't know, there must be at least a dozen mascots or more, and they do their little mini dash at the very beginning, and the children love it. It's a wonderful event. And, you know, I've, I think done a couple other ones, but it's mainly to try to get out there and tell your story and share your story with people so that they can put a face to an organ donation.
Well, and a lot of people, I mean, you get asked the question on your driver's license, do you want to be an organ donor? Okay, so if people don't really understand or know what somebody else is going through or waiting for, 900 days waiting for a heart, I think that you might be more compelled to be an organ donor if you realize that somebody else's life could really benefit from, your passing.
That's exactly right. It's almost like a knee-jerk reaction. Well, I don't know anything about that, so I'm going to say no.
Mm-hmm.
So, I said earlier we cover 39 counties in Ohio and West Virginia, and it's just putting that local face on donation to say, Don waited for 3 years on dialysis. It's grueling. He's had a transplant, and now he's happy to cut his graft?
Right.
What gentleman says that?
Yeah.
So it's getting out here and sharing local stories so that next time you're at the BMV and ask that question, you're not taken aback and you say, oh, I remember Don Betts got that kidney. Yes, I'll be an organ donor.
Well, and here's the thing. We have the face, but let's hear some of the numbers,
Mm-hmm.
The statistics of what we're really looking at.
So what we always say is that one organ donor, so by one person saying yes, they can save 8 lives.
Wow.
So that's through heart to kidneys, lungs, liver, pancreas. I mean, one person can save 8 lives, and that's amazing. And then one person can heal 50 or more through tissue donation. So, that's the gift of sight through your corneas. That's the gift of saving a fire victim by the use of your skin, veins, bones. We can really recover a lot to save and heal just countless numbers of lives.
And the truth is that the number of people that are able to donate, you can say, yes, I will, but the likelihood of you being able to donate are the numbers are very small because you have to die at just the right time and just the right place.
That's right.
And
That's
be
right.
able for them to be able to get what they need.
Right. So only about 1% of all deaths in America can result in organ donation because you have to die in a hospital on a ventilator and be declared brain dead to be an organ donor. So that's only 1% of the population. So right now in Ohio there are 58% registered organ, eye, and tissue donors, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So, but we're dealing with 1% of 58%. We need to be dealing with 1% of 100%.
Yes.
So next time you're at the BMV, please say yes when they ask you.
Yeah, very good. And Patty, would you like to say a final word of maybe how thankful you are that
I would, and I wanted to clarify something too, because, and correct me if I'm wrong, but and just because you put it on your driver's license, I believe it's up to the family at the time.
No.
Oh, okay.
If you're 18 or older and it's on your license, that is a legally binding agreement. So I'm really glad you brought that up.
Okay.
If you're 18 or younger, then the parents would have to make a decision.
Okay.
Gotcha.
I just have to say that 2015 has been the best year ever, even through all the complications. We've had a better life, and I'm a big Keith Urban fan, as everybody knows, and my theme song for years has been Better Life.
Yeah.
And we finally have achieved it.
Yeah. Where did you go on vacation?
Tennessee,
Yeah.
Nashville, and Gatlinburg.
Awesome. Patty Betts, thank you for sharing Dawn's story and
you.
your story, and Jessica Peterson, thank you from Lifeline of Ohio.
Thank you for having us.
When we come back, we're going to talk to Chad Reed, Fairfield County Recycling. Talk about recycling. I don't know if there's a connection there, but organ transplant, organ donation, recycling, they just kind of go together. All right, we'll be back here on Community Accent on Refreshing 90.9 FM.